Welcome to the Dance to Heal podcast. I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. Join me as I share stories of how life is a dance. I'm a cancer survivor, mother of two, and an award-winning performer who found that mind and body-connected movement is vital to healing in a way that is safe and tailored to your life. I created Dance to Heal Wellness featuring the Spotlight Confidence Formula and also authored the best-selling award-winning book, Outside In Recovery, Dancing My Way Back to Myself After Breast Cancer. I will bring new ways to help you on your dance journey and healing path. Are you ready to move? Dance to Heal starts now. Welcome to the Dance to Heal podcast, and I'm your host, Jenny C. Cohen. Today's special episode is about the acknowledgement that energy and attention is currency these days. I have a lot of mentors who have been saying that there is a shift now, online and even in person. And I invite you, there's a movement now where everyone is Chinese. So Chinese New Year is coming. The year of the horse has already begun, even though the actual lunar or Chinese New Year won't be until next week. So I welcome you to embrace the culture and some of the practices of the areas of Asia that they come from, and just be aware that you're only diving the surface, drinking warm water, not boiling water, sipping warm water first thing in the morning. It's just the beginning of your journey. And real talk, until you've actually grown up with a parent, specifically a mom. Most dads are pretty hands-off these days, unless they're a single parent. Most moms who are Asian have a very high standard for their children. Now, there are recent upgrades to this form of parenting that has been a lot healthier for children. So I just want you to specify for yourself when you say, oh, this is my age of being Chinese, which generation you're referring to. No, serious talk, right? Because there are generations of us, myself included, that grew up during times when it wasn't in vogue and there was no TikTok then, and people weren't so embracing of this culture that we were born into. So if you want just the surface of it, then drink your warm water, wear slippers in the house, tap your whole body, and that's just the surface and that's enough for you. Great. Then you're just sampling being Chinese. All right. I want you to actually give yourself a real chance to have another new year, a restart. Because in real life, with the lunar New Year is geared towards the spring solstice. January 1st was made up by banks and businesses. It's not truly a new year because we're in the dead of winter. We're now entering spring. It's coming. I invite you to give yourself a new start. Now, my birthday is in July. I usually also give myself another start in July, wherever your birthday falls. If it's not middle of the year, let's say your birthday is February. 6 months from then is your half birthday that you can start over again. Why do I keep saying start over? Because every day is a new year for you to give yourself another chance, to give yourself grace, to reset what you're going to be focused on. Okay. For me, I just ended 7 months with an online trainer to really focus on strength and building more muscle. And now that I'm no longer going with them, I've noticed that I have built up some ongoing discipline with food choices. Sleep is still an issue. Let's be honest. Still struggling with going to sleep on time. However, even though I know that does affect my health overall, I've been very, very strong in food choices and working out, okay, to the point where I can feel a difference when I haven't done it for a while. So I invite you to pick a few things that you're going to focus. And I'm not going to use the word discipline because for me, I have a negative connotation with that word. And I've tried many times to try and redefine how my body physically reacts to it. And I think it will come. I'm not going to force it. All right. And I give you permission to do the same. Those of you who have an adverse reaction to the word discipline, I invite you to regard it as devotion. All right. The day that this episode is launching, we will be towards the tail end of the Walk for Peace by the monks who started in Dallas, and they have just arrived. They're now finally in DC and wrapping up their 1,200 miles walk for peace. And they're very devoted to this theme of how peace begins with us on an individual level. So, what are you devoting yourself to personally for your own peace? Right? I started off this particular episode talking to you and bringing to the attention that energy and attention is currency. Every time you have a negative reaction to something, and even if you don't make a comment when it's online, you hold it and you ruminate, or you spend a lot of energy and tension on it, you're actually feeding that topic and diverting energy and attention from what you need to be focused on. How focused can you be on making a difference in your own personal life first, and from that point, making a difference in your community and so forth? I'm speaking to the masses. There are a few individuals who have been making huge strides on the higher levels. They come with a huge team. They built the ability to juggle and attract that team. We need to be doing the same. Okay, so I invite you to focus on your own discipline and making choices where your discipline or your devotion to self becomes number one. The Dance to Heal podcast has been rebranded into that life is a dance. And just the same way dancers will put their time in for training, I ask you, what are you putting your attention in for your own training in your own life? Our next 2 episodes will be with phenomenal people who acknowledge that, everyday life is difficult. It's really difficult. So what are you doing with your energy? Wouldn't it be wonderful if you could cultivate a practice where you knew where you started and where you ended so you could best help the people around you? Now, I used to serve for safety, and I've reinvented that pathway for myself. So I know where I start and where I end, and when I need to be unplugged from, or unplugged from like other people or them from me. Okay. So again, happy Chinese New Year coming up. I invite you to be clear with who you're giving your energy to. Why are you giving your energy to that? Be clear with yourself what your devotion to yourself is. And I give you permission. I give you permission to be devoted to your own self-care and your own growth. And then lastly, be aware of when you say things like, oh, this is my Chinese era. What generation are you tuning into? There's a running joke right now that the drinking of warm water and tapping and wearing slippers is almost like the elder generation. I'm kind of the elder in training, and I give you permission to do that. There is an aspect to it that is devotion. Okay, and then I'm going to leave you with a special trick that you all need to learn for this Chinese era in your life. It is called the Chinese perfect face. So that means you put on a smile with just your mouth. There's no smiling in the eyes. There's actually usually a piercing energy where you're stabbing them with your eyes, but your face is smiling. Let's practice. We like to call it affectionately in my household as the perfect face. Usually if I'm displaying this face and trying to be polite, I'm holding back. And in my mind, this person's in trouble. So you need to learn that. The reactive, unless you're with your family and good friends, the reactive outward explosion no longer exists. So for you to fully step into your Chinese era, I welcome you to begin the ability to do perfect face and be very, very careful with where your attention and energy goes. Yeah. And you're given permission to quietly unfollow people on social media. There's no need to announce when you're departing. Does that make sense? There's no need to tell someone I'm mad at you because of this, and then you cut off ties, because now you're inviting them to return a response. Now, if you're doing this fully because you want the response, then that's great. If you're preserving your energy, think about how you're exiting spaces. Okay? Because how you exit is reflective of how much attention you're giving what you're leaving. If you're if you're 40 plus in age, we are reaching our second spring. In Chinese traditional medicine, second spring is for men and women entering menopausal life. And the goal is to allow the inward direction of energy. Before our 40s, we're usually outwardly focused. And I invite you to also, even if you're not in your perimenopausal, menopausal era, age-wise, if you want to have that same type of inward turning, let's clarify. I'm not talking about looping negative thoughts in your head. I'm talking about reversing the outward power and giving yourself power back into inward and inward towards your body. I really invite you to do that. And as always, I used to have a gift at danceandheal.com. You can access your classes there. Also, we are beginning master classes monthly at movetobloom.com. movetobloom.com. And you can have free access to this master class that is subsidized by Raw Epiphany 501c. All right, so I welcome you to the family. Happy New Year, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for listening to the Dance to Heal podcast with Jenny C. Cohen. Come back next time to hear stories of inspiring triumph and learn more ways that you can heal yourself. To work with me and continue your journey, visit danceandheal.com. Are you ready to move?